Hey guys, welcome back to the Jathaly podcast. Happy Thanksgiving.
We are back with another episode, but today's episode is on Thanksgiving.
Woo! So we have a lot of stuff to talk about in today's podcast, but today's episode is going to be a little shorter than usual because we are on a time crunch. We usually film these in advance, but we wanted to give you guys like a special raw Thanksgiving episode. So here we are today on Thanksgiving
It's literally Thanksgiving morning right now, you guys. It is currently 9 a.m. We woke up a little bit later because yesterday we went to Disneyland, which, okay, I hadn't told you guys this, but we are Magic Key holders this year, which I'm really excited about. I was able to secure them. I told you guys on TikTok, I was like, when they come out, I need somebody to please let me know so that I can buy these Magic Keys because I didn't know that I was a Disney adult up until I went to Disney this year. And I was like, wait, this is so much fun. And it's so close to us. Like a lot of people literally moved to California because of Disney, and I'm like, I literally live here. I need to take advantage of this.
It was kind of weird because Nat like surprised me. Like, look at, she sent me the forwarded message of like the tickets. I'm like, wait, why are the tickets so expensive? What are we gonna do? Meet Mickey himself? Yeah. And I was like, okay, hold up. And I read it. It was a Disney pass, like the key holder, whatever you call it. And yesterday we ended up going to Disneyland, and it's so weird to me going to Disneyland and not riding the rides. It's like, I know it's not a waste of money. Every time you go, you're saving more money in the future. But we went and we didn't get on any rides. We just tried the food, and I was so confused. I was like, is this what people do with the pass?
Well, we were supposed to go on Incredicoaster, but I had a lot of work, and I was getting like messages that I had to turn something in. So I was like, damn it, guys, like we have to go. But it would have been nice to go on Incredicoaster. We just went for the food because we were doing a TikTok of like the holiday food, like the Christmas holiday food. And it was really good. You guys should definitely try it.
Yeah, we went there at night last night, and I was like, dude, how are people still here? It's crazy because people literally come just to try food. But yeah, aside from that, welcome back. I hope you guys are having a great morning. Maybe you're doing your morning routine. Maybe you're not. We did our morning routines already. Nat's ready and looking beautiful as always.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome. You had a little dry shampoo on top of you, but it's all good.
Okay. It's because I have to wash my hair right now. And I was like, wait, I'm just going to do this for the podcast. But if they can't see that, it's okay. Anyway, you guys, welcome to today's episode. I hope you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving. And let us know what your plans are for today. Are you getting ready for Thanksgiving? We're hoping to post this episode by the time that people start getting ready. Because I know everybody's probably cooking right now and trying to get everything ready.
Everyone's looking messy right now. They're probably like watching this like, you know, that TikTok sound.
Yeah, try to get everything done. No, seriously, I think everybody's just trying to like cook and get ready and do all kinds of stuff. So for us, we have to take my pasta. That's what we took last year, and Jake told me that they requested that this year.
Yeah, if anyone is making any Teeny's mac and cheese and you live in Southern California, please let us know. I promise you, I'll go like the next day. Black Friday, I'll pull up at your house wanting the Teeny's mac and cheese.
Only if you didn't add the Dijon mustard, though.
I don't care what you add. I want it for sure.
Yeah, she was talking about, she's like, if you don't like mustard, don't put it in. And a lot of people still like use mustard, which I think is crazy. I thought a lot of people didn't like mustard. You know, the majority of people like mustard.
I think when you grow up, your taste buds change, Nat. Come on. You have to try it again.
I'm not trying mustard.
Nat stuck with her 12-year-old taste buds and hasn't tried anything since. I used to hate pickles and cucumbers. Now they're like my favorite things in the world.
But how could you hate cucumbers?
I understand how you can hate pickles because it has a pickly taste.
I hate the vinegar taste, yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about this in another episode before,
okay.
remember?
I'm very passionate about that because I hate when people say like, oh, you like cucumbers, but you don't like pickles. Yeah, that's two different flavors. That's like night and day.
What about tomatoes and ketchup? Do you think it's a very similar, like...
Oh my gosh, that is so, like, if you like ketchup, but you don't like tomatoes, this is my question. We actually have a friend, like a really close friend, who's very passionate about this because he hates tomatoes, but loves tomato sauce, loves ketchup. And to me, well, I make tomato sauce, right? So I know what it takes to make it, and it's literally just tomatoes. So it makes no sense to me.
Maybe it's just like the watery texture that the tomato has. He probably doesn't like that.
Is that what he said?
Maybe, because tomato doesn't taste like anything. A tomato tastes like a juicy, watery. It's like a watermelon with not the sweetness.
That's what it tastes like to me too.
It's a little rougher, but yeah, that's what it tastes.
Yeah, that's such a weird question, you guys. If you feel that way, if you like ketchup but you don't like tomatoes, I just want to know. Give me an explanation. It's really helpful to hear it from our friend. His point of view is that tomatoes water everything down, which I can agree with, right? Like when you have tomatoes in your burger, it does give it like a little bit of a watery taste. But like literally, people put mayo, mustard, and all this stuff in their burgers so that it could bring a little bit of juice into it, right? That's why you guys do that, so it's not dry.
No, I do it because it's like a different condiment taste. It's a condiment, like you just add it.
Yeah, but it makes it like moist, right? Like it makes it more like it's not dry. That's what I usually hear when people love mayo. I don't like mayo, but I'm just saying that's usually what I hear when people are like, oh yeah, because it like moistens up the bun a little bit and it's more enjoyable.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It does.
Okay, so if people love to moisten up their burger, what's the problem with tomatoes?
Let me moisten up your buns.
Okay, you did not have to say that.
Okay, my bad. Let me stuff your turkey. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, I'll let that one slide because it's very, very Thanksgiving of you. But anyway, yeah, let us know, you guys. I would love to know it. But we are making my pasta today, which a lot of you guys were asking me, like, what were the ingredients for my pasta because you wanted to make it today. I have a TikTok on it. Like,
A
so
couple
every
of
year.
TikToks, like 2 or 3 TikToks on that one. Just
Yeah,
search
yeah,
up on TikTok. Literally search up Natalie Cuevas pasta, and she tells you the recipe right there.
Yeah. The chicken one, it's the updated one. But that one, make it. It's super simple. You literally just use tomatoes, heavy cream, Parmesan, spinach, and chicken. That's it. Like, it's super simple.
It's like 4 or 5 ingredients, and then seasoning. You're good, dude. It's the best pasta in my entire life, aside from the Justin Bieber pasta.
Okay. Do you feel that way?
So there's a spot in Los Angeles that we've tried. It's called El Postillo or something
Postillo,
like.
yeah.
And they have like a Justin Bieber pasta. Apparently, the chef sold the recipe because he used to make it for Justin Bieber when he was younger. Sold it to that restaurant, and now they make it, and they make hella bank off of it. We have tried that pasta, and adding chicken onto that pasta, dude, it's the best pasta in the world. Like just the pasta alone, it's like an 8.59.
I
but
still
with the
prefer
chicken,
my
it's so-
cheesy pasta.
I don't. They're very similar. I just like.
They're so similar, babe. And the price difference, hello?
Okay, I don't remember the price. How much is it?
Babe,
It's like $30 a
Justin,
plate.
yeah,
Oh,
that one.
damn.
And then you can make the cheesy pasta at home for $5.
But it also has to be that pasta. I don't know what kind of pasta it is. It's like the big rectangles, those little shapes of pasta. That's like what it is. It has to be that texture.
You're right, because when I made the bow ties the other day, you loved it. And it's the same recipe, but you hate it in spaghetti.
Yeah.
It's the same.
No me gusta penne.
I love penne. Oh my gosh. How you set me up on that one. Bow ties. I like bow ties, babe. They're yummy.
How come you're not 2 steps ahead today? Usually you are.
I'm not an immature person, you know? I think it's pasta.
I've been watching a little bit too much of another podcast that is kind of a comedic one, you know?
Yeah, I know. He always listens to it whenever we're driving, and it's literally like negative aura. You know what?
Don't ever say that in your life. That gives you negative aura saying
What?
aura,
It
bruh.
is negative aura. It's like, okay, when I drive, I feel like it's my time. Like when I'm alone, it's my time to, you know how they always say, like, whenever you're not working, you should be learning. So I always try to listen to podcasts that give me useful information whenever I'm driving. Or I'll listen to like my favorite podcasts, like our friends' podcasts and stuff like that. But Jake listens to these brain rot guys, okay?
No, I
And don't get me wrong,
don't.
they're funny, okay? I do think they get a laugh out of me here and there. But I just don't understand how they get away with murder. But if I say anything, I'm canceled. I don't get it. And I always tell Jake, and he's like, it's because they're comedians.
Yeah, so I think comedians have longer wiggle room because they're trying to be funny, and I guess everyone knows that they're saying it jokingly to make people laugh.
Yeah, but I say a lot of things jokingly too.
For example, there's an Asian co-host and there's an Irish co-host on that podcast that I watch, right? On Halloween, the Asian co-host dressed up as Jelly Roll, the famous artist, right?
Who's Jelly Roll?
Jelly Roll, he's like a famous artist, came from prison, has like a crazy come-up story, and everyone loves him. He makes good music, relatable.
Okay.
And he dressed up as Jelly Roll, right? But the Irish guy calls him Spring Roll because he's Asian.
Oh my God.
Like,
See, that's funny.
And it's funny, but if I were to make that joke and I'm not a comedian, that's like, okay, you're passing the lines a little bit. You know, you're not really with like a certain, you have to be with a certain crowd, like a certain time for that to happen.
It is really like refreshing to hear it sometimes because like it brings back to when
like where the
people
movies
would
were,
say
like
shit,
movies
yeah.
like White Chicks were
Yeah,
made
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Like when people would say funny stuff because I feel like you don't see a lot of it, and that podcast is very, very funny. I will say,
Like
that.
in high school, dude, people were so funny like that, and nobody was really sensitive to it. But I guess when you get a
I
big
think
platform, you have
it's
to be.
still like that.
Oh yeah, well, I'm not in high school anymore. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it's just because obviously,
Imagine everyone in high school like has a cancellation stuff like, oh, he said something, we're canceling him for today. Or
every single
in high
person in high school has a cancellation thing that they've done or said.
I think there's a double standard when it comes to like influencers and people that do social media because, dude, they talk about people being like, oh, he's cheating on this person, like as like influencers, right?
Yeah.
I can tell you my cousins that cheat on everyone.
Yeah.
Like I have family members that are worse. Like, do you understand this? The double standard?
Dude, it's funny. It's all it is. It's just because these people who are public figures, like they have a lot of attention. So it's like a lot of opinions at once. That's all it is. But realistically speaking, like, yeah, it's crazy because I see things in like my real life. And I say my real life because, you know, we do have a life. Like, just like you guys, literally the life that you guys live, it's the same one that we live. Like, outside of the cameras and stuff, like, we're just like you guys. I'm serious. And It's funny because I see shit happen in my real life and I'm like, damn, like if this were to happen on the internet, like this person would get destroyed.
But just because it's the real life, like,
just because it's real life, it doesn't matter. And it's not even people who are on the internet. It's just like real life people in my life. And I'm like, damn, these people would get destroyed. And it's crazy because it's like, but it because they're not public figures, like it really doesn't matter. But yeah, hearing that podcast whenever we're on road trips, I'm like, damn, how are they getting away with this?
I was like immune to like the real life scenarios. Like, okay, if it's in real life, it doesn't matter. And if it's on social media, it's like, what? How did they do that? And I was listening
You
to
used
like
to be like that?
No. I was like thinking that way because I was around that too much, like the drama shit. So I was watching the drama stuff a lot. I'm like, bro, that's crazy. How would they do that? And then I'm like, hold up, let me take a step back. This stuff happens like day to day basis. If they would have found out what my friends did in high school, dude, they would have never let them go. Like they would have never like see them the same, you know? So yeah, it's just refreshing to find, like, look at a podcast and have and see the humor in it.
Yes, but it is brain rot.
Oh yeah, 100%. But that podcast is brain rot.
That one is brain rot.
There's other podcasts that aren't brain rot, like the Joe Rogan ones that I watch.
I like
Some
those.
of them are so
I love those
interesting.
podcasts.
Bro, learning about UFOs, learning about like all the government stuff that's going on behind the scenes, crazy.
I love when you actually listen to those kind of podcasts, like the Joe Rogan ones, because you take away good information. Like, I think it's very important to have that balance. But lately, babe, you've been out of line, bro. Every trip we've taken is just those two guys in my ear. It's like nagging. It's like a fly in my ear that's like bzzz, just them bullshitting.
That's cap because they're only an hour podcast episodes.
Yeah, and I could tell you all the fucking jokes they make because you always play them. And when was it? I think we went to Bakersfield last time and you were listening to them.
Either that or Mammoth Lakes, one of those. Because
it was both. I think it was both.
Did you see the TikTok going around when like she's like, POV, your husband, you married the guy that puts 2 miles goes 2 miles per hour over the speed limit, sets the speed limiter, and listens to a podcast while you could like sleep.
You sent it to me. I was like, oh, that is
that's
my
and I was like, bro, that's me right there.
That's
what I do.
Literally you.
Ever since that speeding ticket, dude, I don't go over the speeding limit anymore. I'm like traumatized. If you haven't watched that video on my YouTube channel, go watch it. I had to go back to Tennessee because I got a speeding ticket there. So from California, I flew all the way to Tennessee, beat that case, call me TK, I don't care.
Guess what? I have a story for you.
Oh,
I almost got pulled over and I didn't tell you.
In my car or your car?
My car.
Okay, good.
Do you want me to tell you what happened? I'm going to tell you a story. You guys, I have never gotten pulled over, but I thought this was my time.
You've never gotten pulled over?
No.
At your 21-year-old age? That's not fair, bruh.
What do you mean I don't do bad stuff?
Me neither, but I got pulled over 4 times. What did I do?
4 times?
Yeah, I've gotten pulled over 4 times. Okay, one of the times it was because like I dropped the water bottle on the passenger seat in the floor, and I was thirsty and I was trying to go. So apparently when I was reaching for the water bottle, I was like swerving to the other lane just a little bit, and the cop seen me, pulled me over. He's like, "You all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was just drinking water," and he was cool. But the other times I don't even remember. Bro, I got pulled over for, when you stop.
The stop sign, I remember that one.
And you don't stop for like that millisecond, and then you go. That's when I got pulled over.
But she knew because she let you go. But it's funny because we're like pretty close friends with some cops, and they were telling us about how they'll pull people over. Wait, I don't know if I should say this.
Nah, you shouldn't. That's messed up.
No, it's not messed up. It's like they're actually doing something wrong, but they don't care that they're doing that wrong thing. They care that.
So what goes on is like, say you like the stop sign thing. I didn't stop all the way, so they pull you over for stopping. That's their like reason for the stoppage.
Excuse, yeah.
But they look inside of your car to see if you have any like illegal things, like maybe drugs or like firearms and stuff. So that's what they do.
But if you don't, then they just like let you go. Like for example, for that stop thing, she was like, "Oh, these guys are like normal people," so they just let us go. They didn't give us a ticket. That'd be fucked up if she did, because you did stop.
I did.
You did.
I didn't, but okay.
He just kind of like, and then he just kept going.
I wonder what she's doing for Thanksgiving this year, bro.
That cop, hey, bless up for that cop, because she just let us go. She was just like, "Oh, like, is this your car or whatever?" And
I hope she has some bomb ham today, dude.
Yeah, I think that was really cool of her to do.
Oh, 100%. I'm sure a lot of cops do that too.
Well, yeah, I'm literally telling you, like, that's literally what they say they do. It's just to catch the bigger fish or whatever. Anyway, we shouldn't be talking about this. Moving on. Okay, let me tell you about how I almost got pulled over, because this story was a little traumatic, okay?
Damn.
Okay, so this is the night of the Sabrina Carpenter concert.
The night that you wanted me to drive you, okay.
Yeah, okay, that night. So I go to Sabrina, which by the way, I'm going to get into right now. But I go to Sabrina Carpenter with one of my friends, and I was like, I'm going to drive. She doesn't really like feel comfortable driving to LA, which me either, but you got to do what you got to do. So I was like, all right, I'll drive us. Let's go. I pick her up. We're leaving. This is like 6 p.m., but it's dark already, and we're going to LA on a Sabrina Carpenter night. Can you imagine the traffic? It was horrid. So it basically has us do like a huge like detour through the streets because the freeways were so packed, and we were already like 20 minutes late to the concert, and it was just like so bad. So we're on our way, and I get to this light, and I don't know what it was in. I think it was just because we were late, so I was a little anxious. So I'm going, and you know how LA has these like turning lights? Like, for example, where we're from like a smaller place, right? So we have like arrows on every light. Like, you know, the lights that you have to yield to the other people? Like, we don't have that, I would say. Like, we have light, like the arrow, the turning arrow at every arrow. Stop sign. Mm-hmm. Okay. In LA, it's not very common. Like, I feel like it's more of that stupid ass, like where you stop in the lane and then everybody has to go around you.
Yeah, there's two lanes. There's two lanes, and then the first lane to the left is it's a straight arrow and a left arrow at the same time.
Yeah. It's like a turning.
I mean, straight lane and a left lane. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, damn, it's like one of those. So they're waiting for me, but I'm going straight. The people who are yielding to turn are on the other side. Anyway, I am like, I don't know. I would say like 8 feet, 10 feet from the light. Okay. And it turns yellow.
Oh my gosh.
And through my head, it's like, if I stop, we're going to be more late. If I go, I'm going to be a dick because this guy needs to turn. So normally when that happens, you stop so that the person can go on yellow. Like, they'll usually go like towards the middle of the lane. I was like, what do I do? I was like, nah, I got to pick me. So I gas it. Okay. I gas. But so does he.
Oh my God.
So, but I'm not that far. Honestly, this is why this was a sticky situation, was because that was really mean of me to do. But at the same time, I did have the right of way to do that.
It was like the 50-50 instances.
Exactly.
Okay.
So like, it could have been both ways. Like, I'm sure he was like, oh, she's a bitch, but also me, like, I shouldn't speed up if I know that she's coming. So it was kind of like that situation. And I wasn't that far though. Like, I could have braked because I have a good brakes, but I wasn't that far to like stop. Anyway, I go, but he goes. So I brake and he brakes and I go. But because of these delays, it turns red.
So both of y'all are in the wrong now.
We're just, yeah. So then it turns red and there's a cop behind him.
Oh, behind
him.
And technically, once it's red already, he has the right of way because he's yielding already. Yeah. And everyone was supposed to go.
And so I go, then the guy goes, and then the cop. And I just see the cop. He like, the other car goes, and then I go.
And then the cop turns the U-turn.
And then the cop is like slowly about to do the U-turn. And he's like looking at me, and I start pulling over because I knew he was going to pull me over. Like, no way. And then last minute, turns the steering wheel, keeps going. Oh my God. And I'm already pulled over, bruh. Like, I'm ready. Like, I accepted my defeat. Like, I knew that he would have gotten me. But then at the same time, I was like, but would he though? Because it was yellow, you know? And he just leaves. Dude, when I tell you, me and my friend were like,
so to this day, you still haven't gotten pulled over?
No.
Nah, what?
Don't say that. You're getting bad juju.
My bad.
I have not. Thankfully, blessed up, I have not. And I have had a lot of instances because my blazer was tinted from like head to toe, bro. Like, it was 5% all around. And any cop could have gotten me for that. And I thankfully have never, gotten pulled over. And for my Range Rover, because I was so traumatized with my blazer, because every single time I would see a cop, I had to put my windows down. I basically was like, no, I'm not doing that to my Range Rover because it's a lot of stress to be having to put my windows on every single time I see a cop. Uh-huh. So I didn't do it. So my Range is like a fishbowl, to be honest, and it kind of sucks. So I'm taking it in to get tinted next week because I'm over it. Like, okay. I'd rather have the stress than the fishbowl. You're
done, brother. You don't have a driver anymore now.
No, but my blazer, my blazer had black interior, so it was like darker, versus my Range Rover, since it has light interior. Like, do you remember with my Benz when I blacked it out, it wasn't that bad? Because it's
bad at night. I'm not talking about like how it looks from the outside. I'm talking about like when you're driving at night and you can't see on the outside. Like, it's like hard visibility. I feel,
yeah, but it's okay because as long as nobody can see me,
Okay, fuck me then. I'm the only driving at night.
But we don't even drive at night anymore. Like, not in my car.
Tonight we're literally driving at night.
Yeah, in your car. We don't drive my cars at night,
you're right.
Yeah. It's very rare when we do that. So, yeah, anyway, that happened to me and I was really scared, babe. And I was like, oh my gosh, if he gets me, how am I going to tell Jake? That was my biggest thing. I was so embarrassed to tell you. Like, I was like, how am I going to tell Jake? How am I going to tell Jake? And he didn't pull me over. And I think he probably laughed when he saw me pull over. He's like, this dumbass.
That's what I do too. When I know I'm in the wrong and I see a police officer behind me, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to pull over already.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not even going to wait for this guy to light me up. I'm just going to pull over. And no, he didn't. And thankfully, we got away and it was perfect. I think what my friend was saying, she was like, I think the cop was also like confused. Like, I think the cop was also like,
is she in the wrong?
Yeah, it was like a hard thing to argue. So he was just kind of like, there's probably someone who's actually doing something wrong. And he ended up just dipping. He probably thought about it. He's like, nah, I'm just going to dip.
He got lucky there. But yeah. Okay, next topic. So you're in a relationship there's holidays around the year, throughout the year, you're confused. Like, wait, how does this work with each other? Do you guys always you separate your ways and you go with each other's families on the holidays? For most cases, that's probably like the case for the first couple of years. But for us, it was only the case for 1 year. So for the first time we met, that holiday, I spent it with my family. She spent her holidays with her family. We're talking about Thanksgiving and Christmas together, right? The next year, we're confused because we're vloggers. We're vlogging full time now. And we're like, hold up, what do we do? So we've came to the conclusion. I feel like it could be a toxic situation for a lot of people, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But in our case, we came to the conclusion where my brother's birthday's in November, like November 20th. My dad's birthday's November 24th. And Thanksgiving is a couple days after.
And it's your favorite holiday.
And it's my favorite holiday. But aside from the favorite holiday part, it makes sense to go to that Thanksgiving with my family, right? So we both go to Thanksgiving with my family. For you, Christmas is like your favorite holiday. You guys love giving really nice gifts and doing gifts and hanging out with the family, right? You guys do that. But I feel like as we grew up, my family grew up, my mom's side, because that's where we would do our presents. That's crazy, right? Like we're talking about choosing each other's sides, but growing up, we would do like my mom's side for Christmas. But yeah, for Christmas on my mom's side, as we started getting older, like less people would show up. Because I'm sure like everyone would start their own families and stuff. Yeah. So it became like a very small Christmas as to where when we were younger, it was really big. So then we decided to do Nats. And Nats always had the same Christmas, like with her family. It's very intimate and stuff. So I didn't want to take that away from her. And I was like, okay, let's do your Christmas with your family. And the next day, like Christmas Day, we can go with my family. So that's how we separate our Christmases. But I feel like that's the most healthy thing we've ever come to a conclusion of, right?
Well, because this is the realization that I had. So in December of 2021, it was also the Thanksgiving of 2021. Me and Jake were already living together. And we decided to separate for Christmas. And for Thanksgiving, I think we separated for both that year. It was the first year of us living together, and we were just like, why don't you go with your family? I'll go with mine, and then that way we can just like celebrate. And that's what we did. Except we were missing a critical piece of the pie here, and it was that like we are now a family. You know what I mean? And although you want to cater to your family, as in your parents and your siblings, you need to realize that this is your new family, and we were living together at that point. So it's like you've already made the commitment to move in together, to live together, and you need to actually stick with that commitment. And so after that happened, after those holidays happened, I thought about it and I was like, why did I do that? Like, why did we separate when we are supposed to be a family at this point? I think we already had Ellie.
Mind you guys, we do live in different cities for my family and her family. So it's not like, okay, we'll go for a couple hours with my family and then a couple hours on the other side of the town with her family and stuff like that. So we can't do that.
No, we have to pick one. It's too far. So it was just kind of like that situation where I was like, no, I think that was a decision that I'm not going to make again. Just because I think it comes off as, for myself and not for anybody else, not what anybody else thinks. For myself, it comes off as like, you're not sticking with one side. Like you're not picking a family here. Like you're trying to, you go to the holidays over there and I'm going to come over here, but then I'm going to come back home and live with you and start a life with you. But on holidays, nah, you go with your family, me go. And it just didn't feel right for me, you know? Like I was like, I have to stick with my family and we have to stick with our family, and that's just the way it is. And if we want things to ever work, we need to do that. Like we need to pick each other. So after that, I was like, we will never split up for a holiday again. And it's just trying to please, right? Like I feel like I never really wanted to leave my family for holidays. Like you just grow up. The thing is that you're so young. Hold on, honey. Thank you. The thing is that you're so young and you're so used to spending holidays with your families. That's just what it is. Like you grow up spending these holidays with your family. So the day that you don't, it was tough. So that's why we ended up splitting up, because I was like, oh, well, I want to spend it with our families, and and so were you, and we're just like, let's just split up. But the truth is that that's just not realistic. And like when you get with someone, you do gain a family, and you also have to cater time to your new family. And it's very selfish, I would say, to not cater time to your other family.
But yeah, the reason why I brought up that topic was because like when I was getting a haircut yesterday, my friend has a girlfriend that when I was cutting my hair, and he was like, how do you guys do that? Like, when did you guys decide to do that? And I was like, yeah, we decided when we were like separated, and we're like, hold up, we shouldn't be separated. We're a family within ourselves. So yeah, we decided that early on. I'm glad we did.
Yeah, and it was never really an issue because you love Thanksgiving and I don't, so it was like a kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, and then as I grew up, I didn't really care more of the gifts as I did when I was younger. So like it's just the holiday itself and like praising the birth of Jesus and stuff. But aside from that, you love the gifts, so we go celebrate it with your family.
Yeah, for me, it's always been like about the gifts. We've never really done it for like the religious side. and like the Santa and stuff, like Santa coming.
Okay, there's gonna be a big disclaimer right here, guys. If you're listening to this, we're gonna be talking about Santa Claus. Okay, parents, adults, Santa Claus. So if you guys got any children walking around, put them away or turn this episode off right here and watch it later.
Skip over a little bit. We do not want to ruin anything.
If you want to fast forward like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, the podcast topic would be off. I mean, the topic would be off, but please skip. We don't want to have Santa have any interruptions.
Spoil
their
Santa
gifts.
gifts.
Yeah.
Please skip.
Thank you.
Wait, did you believe? Oh, wait. Should I say that?
Yeah, you're good. You can say that.
Oh, okay. Did you believe in Santa when you were growing up? That's
Okay.
actually a good question.
I did believe in Santa, but you know those kids growing up, like, dude, they break everything. They tell you tooth fairy is not real.
Oh, yeah.
That's how they broke the thing to me. So my mom told me Santa was real up until I was in high school still. Like freshman year, she'd be like, you have to write your letters to Santa. And I'm like, Mom, I didn't tell you this, but we already know Santa's not real. But I jacked it on when I was younger because I knew I was still young. Like I knew in my head, I'm young. I could like fool my mom a little bit still. She could give me more presents and stuff. But I don't know, I think it was 3rd or 4th grade. A kid told me like, Santa's not real. Like we had a whole argument in class, like when the teacher went outside and then they're talking about Santa and stuff. And they're like, no, he's not real. Like a little silver tooth kid. And I'm like, damn, bro, you ruined it for me.
I hate kids like that.
And it's not like I could have done my research and like, is Santa real? Because I didn't have a laptop. I didn't have like an iPad or anything like that. But yeah, he ruined it for me.
Yeah, it's so sad that there's like kids like that. And my worst nightmare is for my kids to go to school with kids like that. That's like actually because I feel like Santa was the best part of growing up. Okay. Like I know a lot of people don't agree with like telling your kids that, you know, but one thing is you not wanting to tell your kids Santa's real, but another one is your kid going around ruining the fairy tale to everybody. That's mean.
My favorite tradition was when December would come and like it's like the last day before you go to the winter break and they give you like this the reindeer dust that you throw in the yard, and on Christmas Day it goes away, like whatever the reindeers come and eat it. It's reindeer food. So you throw it in the yard. Apparently, it just like goes into the ground and stuff. It just disintegrates.
Is that what it is? I never got that.
Yeah, so we got it. So we throw it in the ground the day before Christmas, and then the next morning it would like disintegrate and stuff. And the reindeers ate it. Oh my gosh! And I'd be so happy. But like that's like the stuff I really like enjoying.
I love it. Yeah,
Christmas.
That was my favorite part. Like growing up, that's the reason I think that I love Christmas this much. Okay, here's another question: if you love Christmas, did you believe in Santa growing up? I wonder if there's a correlation between people who love Christmas and them actually growing up thinking that Christmas was so magical because Santa comes. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if there's a correlation there.
I do think it became that, like, so famous because of Santa Claus presents.
You think so?
I think it really, yeah.
The movies and stuff.
For example, we have friends of all different like races and stuff that don't really believe in the Christianity and Catholicism, right? But they still know Santa Claus. Yeah. And it's Christmas.
Yeah, I love it. And I think that it's such a good thing because truthfully, like life is really hard, right? And there's so much like sadness and just hardships that come with life. But knowing that there was like, that there's that one day where everything's just magical and everyone gets together and opens presents. And even if it's not even like big gifts or whatever, it's just like you feeling like somebody thought about you and gave you a gift. And it's like, it's such an awesome thing for people to look forward to. And it's not just Christmas, right? I know there's so many other holidays for a bunch of different other cultures, but I do love that. I love that so much. And I think growing up, obviously, like we believed in Santa. My parents were very, very like on it with Santa. And when we have kids, that's my biggest goal is to like literally give them the best experience when it comes to like Santa and stuff. Like so good to the point where like I want us to make the cookies and I want you to come downstairs and eat them and drink the milk. Like I really want to make sure that we give them that experience.
We have to make sure they try to catch that. So like you have to wake them up and like, hold up, do you guys do that? And then take them downstairs or something. And then I'm in a big old jumpsuit with like a
yes,
beard.
We have to do that. Like,
and they'll never forget that, bro.
I'll never forget. I remember one time where like we were staying up because we wanted to catch Santa and it was like 11. Okay, stop, because this is the best moment of my freaking growing up. And I remember we were like trying to catch Santa and then we like heard noises in the front door or whatever. And like I think it was my mom who had to come and was like, I think Santa's here. And like he knocked on the door or whatever. And then there was like all of our gifts there. And it was like so many. Like I remember Santa brought us so much stuff. And he even brought like our dog's bones. And it was like the most amazing time ever. And I think I had gotten a bike that Christmas. So it was even more exciting because it was like what I've always wanted, a bike. And it was like the bike that I wanted from Walmart. So it was like, it was just crazy. And I remember my parents like did try their best to make that experience for us. And I loved it. And I literally wish that I could go back to my life where I believe Santa was real. Because that was the best part of my life. It was the best time of my life.
For my family, it was like really easy for them to like do the Santa gifts under the tree because we would go on the 24th.
Wait, Santa would leave your gifts under the tree?
Yeah, he'll leave our gifts under the tree.
What the heck? My Santa was lazy.
Really?
Yeah, he would leave them at the front door. Unwrapped.
No. Yeah, so we would go to my cousin's house to go celebrate Christmas on the 24th, right? So I didn't know this at the time, but one of my parents would stay back. And they'd put the Christmas trees or the stuff under the tree. I think it was my dad because my dad would be like, oh, "Okay, I'm gonna go say hi to my parents real quick before I go to go visit you guys." All right. So I think he was just like wrapping the gifts.
Yeah.
It had to have been my mom wrapping them, but he would just put them under the tree. But the whole month of December, like as soon as Black Friday hits, we can't go in my mom's room because the doors close all the time. They have all the gifts in there. One time I went in and I asked for something. I don't know what I like exactly asked for. But I go in the room because I completely forgot I needed a towel. I open it and it's right there. That gift is right there, and I'm like. And I closed the door, and I have to act surprised on Christmas. So as soon as I don't know, I wish I could remember what it was, but when I opened the gift, I was like, oh my god!
That's how you found out, or that's how you like realized.
That's how I realized like Santa wasn't real, like for sure, because I seen that. But.
For us, it was Edith. She found a doll in the garage. But she didn't. She tried to keep it like alive for me. Like she didn't tell me that she had found it. But I think that's when she realized Santa wasn't real because she found it. Like we were snooping in the garage and we found it. My parents had put it like at the top because in our garage we have like cabinets and it was like at the very back. But we used to wash in the garage back then, so we had to like take our clothes like from our rooms to like the outside of the house, inside of the garage, and then wash. Right. So our detergents would be up there, and I think she like opened it and saw, and that's how she found out.
Oh wait, I hope we're not really spoiling this for anybody.
That's what I was thinking. That's why I don't want to talk about this.
Okay, it's okay. I'll put a little disclaimer in the.
Okay,
in the
yeah.
end.
I'm so sorry if there's anybody who still believe, but like any kids don't watch after this, please.
Okay.
I would hate to be the person, but I don't think there's
You're
kids
20. You're like 28 years old. Santa's not real.
Oh, dude, imagine if I wish I could still believe in Santa.
Imagine growing up. You're like you go on a podcast episode and you're like, yeah, I found out that Santa wasn't real because
My favorite YouTubers went on and said that.
the Jathaly podcast.
Oh, that's so mean. Now I don't know if I want to put this in.
No, I'll put a disclaimer. Don't worry.
I don't think that there's kids that young watching our podcast.
Maybe it's like the background noise though, because they're cooking and the kids are around the house. But I'll put a big disclaimer. Don't worry.
Okay, let's film the disclaimer right now so that you could put it at the beginning. Okay.
Okay, disclaimer around what time was it at? Okay, I'll just put it from there and then on.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think with that disclaimer, it should have helped everybody.
I hope so. At that point, you're begging for your kids to know.
Oh, yeah,
But
that would hate for that to
What
happen.
about the tooth fairy? How did you find out like about that?
Dude, honestly, I think till I stopped dropping teeth.
They were good about it one time?
Yeah, they would always just bring me like, because I never, did you pull out your teeth by yourself?
No, my dad would do it for me sometimes. Like after I got to a certain age, my dad was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna wrap your teeth and then close the door."
Dude, it would hurt so bad. So my parents, like, whenever I would pull my teeth out, like, they would always be like, if you pull it out, they're gonna bring you like $10. And that was like $1,000 at that day and age. And you're like, $10, like the more you wait, it's like $1 that the tooth fairies can bring you less. So they would really use it as motivation for me because it was so painful and I hated it so bad.
$10? That's like $320 for all your teeth that fall out.
No, it wasn't for all of them. Like the first ones, it was like $2, $3. And then once it got to the molars, that's when they were like, okay, like.
But as soon as your molars start falling out, you're already older. So you probably, like, you don't even think about it.
I know. I guess I didn't really realize it till I was like already like, yeah, molar status, like very, very old.
One time my dad was, I don't know how, like one of my teeth fell out. One of my teeth fell out and it was like late at night. My dad got home from work and my mom, I hear him whispering in the hallway like, oh, you have to go get him cash. Like his tooth fell out. And I'm like, oh, I hear them. I'm not asleep. So I pretend to fall asleep and I feel a rough ass hand go under my pillow looking for the tooth. But my tooth is like right next to me where I'm laying. And I'm like laying on the opposite side of the pillow. So I'm laying down. They're searching the whole pillow. And then they have to go under my head, under the pillow and find like the tooth. And so he takes it out. And then I hear him reach in his pocket because he has like receipts and stuff in his pocket. I hear like crumbling like. And then I hear him pull out the money. You know how money sounds when he pull it out. And he puts that under my pillow. And then as soon as he walks out, I check and it's like $20. I'm like, oh, I was so happy. Because I could have been like, that was like at the point of time where I like, do you believe in it or not? Yeah, you're older. Yeah. And if I would have told him like my tooth fell out, I don't want money, or like I know it's not real, but
no, you should have never said that. You just gotta keep it secret.
I got the $20 though, just because I didn't say anything.
My mom would make us put our teeth in the kitchen.
Why?
Because she would say that the the tooth fairy had to go there. You know what she would say sometimes? So like sometimes we leave our teeth, but my dad either would forget to leave the money or he didn't have money. I don't know which one of those it was. But she would be like, oh, it's because I think the dogs didn't let the tooth fairy cross last night. We'll leave it there again and maybe this night. Yeah.
Your dad's like, I'm forgetting, and he comes over all
I
tired.
don't
and
think
shit.
it was that he would forget because my dad, like his morning routine was literally like my dad has always been very organized about his wallet and his keys. Okay. Always, like he would always put it like in the corner of the, I know because every time I wanted to know when he was going to leave, I would go check the corner. And if the wallet and the keys were there, the man was still home. But he was very organized about it. So we would leave the teeth. Now thinking about it, she would always make us put it like right next to his wallet and his keys. Oh, I didn't realize that before. Yeah, it was like right next to the wallet and his keys. But it's like he for sure knew that the teeth were there. And my mom used to wake up every single day at like 4 a.m. to make my dad breakfast. So it's like my mom also didn't forget. Like they're not forgetful people like that. So I'm sure it had to do with like he either didn't have cash, they didn't have money, or like I don't know what it was. But I remember she would be like, oh, like the dogs didn't let him pass. But so tonight we're gonna put the dogs in the back so that the tooth fairy can cross.
How do you say?
And we would actually put it in the back.
How do you say tooth fairy in Spanish?
She would just say el ratón.
El ratón.
Yeah. What are you laughing for?
Wait, so like there was no tooth fairy, it was just a rat?
Yeah.
El ratón?
Mm-hmm.
So how did you find out it was a tooth fairy when you were in school?
Babe, I was bilingual. What do you mean?
El ratón, really?
Yeah.
Not like, how do you say fairy? Feria. That's money.
I don't think I've ever used fairy.
Guys,
I think we would always say Tinkerbell.
if you're a Spanish speaker, what would they call a tooth fairy? And then if you speak another language, like what do they call a tooth fairy in your language? That's interesting. El ratón.
Babe, you grew up saying the tooth fairy?
I'm not letting el ratón go under my pillow, okay? That's the last thing I'm letting in my pillow in my
Babe,
room.
it's so crazy to me that you grew up with like English movies and like the tooth fairy and like that's so crazy to me. So crazy to me. Like that's completely different for me.
It's a culture shock, right?
It's really a culture shock. Like I didn't understand how different we were up until like maybe like 2 years ago because I remember I really vividly thought that you had grown up like Hispanic. Like for the longest, I really thought that.
And then what do you guys call Easter? Dia de los huevos.
El Dia de los Huevos.
So basically that translates to the day of the eggs.
Yeah. How is that funny?
Because there's a word for it in Spanish.
Yeah, but we don't speak that kind of Spanish. We speak a different kind.
That's hilarious. I like that about y'all. You guys are funny.
It's funny because, like, other than my own family, I don't have any other, like, friends who grew up like me, I would say, other than obviously, like, my cousins and stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't say that I have many friends who grew up like me. And we recently got close to like another person and he grew up like me for the most part. He's still a little bit like Jake, but like not fully. He's more like me than he is like Jake. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I feel heard. Like, I don't know if you guys watched the Jathaly video where we were talking about the Little Rascals and there's a scene where he says like, tengo dos pepinillos, right? And he has two like little pickles in his hands. And Jake heard it as,
I have two pickles. I have two pickles. I have two pickles. Hey, hey.
So that's how he heard it, right? So for the first time that me and Nelly had said, like, tengo dos pepinillos, like, because I had two things in my hands, and I was like, tengo dos pepinillos. And he couldn't stop laughing because it was so, like, he knew what it was, but it was, like, from where, like, it was just so different.
I thought she, like, auto-translated it in her brain, but that's how she watched it.
That's how I heard it, right? Anyway, we were out, and he did the same thing. And it was like, wow, there is someone who like sees what I see, like saw what I saw. And it's just funny. It's like, maybe I'm not like that unique. It's just that I don't see it around me like as often as I don't know. Imagine.
Yeah, for me, like when I was in my high school years, I didn't know Spanish at all. I probably knew like 3% Spanish, bro. And I had to take Spanish class, whatever. But I had a friend. His name's Oscar. You guys know him as Rango. And he knew everything, like from hip hop to Spanish music to like Spanish rock. He knew every single genre, like was involved in English and Spanish completely.
But his 100%. Spanish is different.
His Spanish is different. And growing up, like I'd listen to Spanish music, I would understand it. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, what phrase did he just say? What does it mean? And I would understand it. I'm like, okay. And then he ended up singing to me like in English, or he'll sing the song out in English while the song's playing in Spanish. So like, I don't know what lyric I could think of, but
yeah, that's super cool.
He translates it for me, and he would always help me with like the translation and like little slang stuff.
Do you think that he really helped you like learn Spanish?
Yeah. So whenever we first met, I knew your parents didn't speak English fully, so I had to take classes. His mom's like a teacher. I took classes, like 2 days of Spanish classes, and honestly, it helped a little bit. Like I knew like the past tense and previous post whatever tenses, I started learning them, right? But then hanging around you guys, like hearing it all the time, I'm like, okay, that's how I would say it if I were talking about this. And then I just learned it from like word of mouth. And
Yeah, you've gotten so much better. It's crazy because my mom will tell Jake like, oh, Jake hasn't been speaking Spanish. Like my mom can tell.
She
like,
could notice.
Yeah, she can tell because I speak Spanish to you, I would say pretty often.
I think like 50-50 out, whatever comes out of your mouth is English or Spanish.
It's because I just don't, like, seriously, I don't know English or Spanish. Like, I'm very, like, whatever I know in Spanish, I don't know in English, and vice versa.
Like, she doesn't know radish. Radish in English is like rábanos.
Oh, rábanos. Yeah, like, yesterday I couldn't
is it rábanos or rábanos?
No, with an R. Rábanos.
Oh, shit, I've been saying it wrong my whole life.
You say grábanos?
Record us.
That's record us. Honey, I fear I didn't know that.
Go record it. Go get the record us.
Have you been saying grábanos?
Yeah, I have.
But you know what's crazy? Gianna knows more Spanish than you, in my opinion.
Right now?
I don't know about right now.
I don't think right now anymore.
But she did. I remember.
Yeah, because she grew up in when Gianna was born, she lived with my grandparents, and my grandparents only speak Spanish. So that's how she knew.
Yeah, she's pretty good at it.
From I think 1 to like 4, she only spoke Spanish. And then in kindergarten, that's when we spoke English and forgot the Spanish.
But it's crazy because I think it just, I don't know about Joey. I've never heard him like.
Oh, yeah, he knows a little less than Gianna.
And then if it wasn't, I think because you started hanging out with us, I think you know more out of everybody nowadays, right? But if not, I think like you would know less, Jason. And Joel doesn't know any. Actually, no, Joel's starting to learn more because he listens to music in Spanish.
That helped me so much. That was like my first step on learning the other language.
Yeah, it's crazy because it will help if you like watch TV shows and listen to music in Spanish or in whatever language you're trying to learn. You will pick it up.
That's like literal evidence because we have a friend from Spain and she speaks English, but she kind of knows like American slang, but she speaks more of like the European English, right?
Yeah, well, because she lives out there, yeah.
So that's ones that they teach. But like for her American slang, she watches TV shows and stuff. So we're going to be going out there pretty soon and we're going to be doing a video speaking Spanish, but
like Spain.
Authentic Spanish, the
Is that authentic? Wait, is that where it started?
Yeah, that's where it started in Spain. Mm-hmm. European Spanish is like the main Spanish. Same thing with English. Like we have the wrong English.
It's the UK people that have the correct one?
Yeah, they have the correct English.
And then so we're just like strains of it, like where it's spread?
Much. I mean, it all comes from like Latin, Greek, and like all the old languages. Yeah. But yeah, they have the main one.
So people from Spain took the Spanish and now we have like all kinds of different Spanish from different parts of
that's why when you learn Spanish in school, it's like weird. You're like, hold up, this isn't the Spanish I'm like comfortable with. And I'm
because they teach the authentic one?
Yeah, the real Spanish.
The real Spanish. I'm sure it's going to offend people.
No, it is.
But I know what you're saying, but yeah.
Same thing with the real English. I don't get offended to it though.
Like, real English?
Color, they spell color COLOUR instead of COLOR. They spell color. What's color?
That's interesting.
It is interesting.
But that happens everywhere, like different strains. Like, because I don't speak the same Spanish as like Oscar. Like everybody speaks such different versions and different, but that goes the same for English because like. Yeah,
it is. And it's going to be so hard for us to film that video because you know Spanish, but you don't know their Spanish.
No, and I don't know Spanish like they know Spanish, dude. Like they speak, like sometimes I even have to listen to her 2 times because it's so fast and it's so like, if that makes it like TH, like everything is, and it's really, really hard to understand what they're saying because they slur it. Yeah, I don't know. Like I've heard her, she'll speak Spanish in front of us, and I'm like, I need you to say it again because I have no idea what you just said, and I know Spanish.
I'm like, did you stutter or did you? What? Yeah. And they're speaking it correct. I'm like, I'm just not used to it.
It's crazy because she showed us a voice memo of their group chat. So obviously, when you speak to your friends, it's like. Right, like think of English. Think of you speaking to your friends in English and you speak it fast with hella like slang, right? Now imagine the Spanish group chats. It's all just TH to me. I can't understand what they're saying. I was like, Daniela, play that back to me because I have no idea what these people just said. We listened to it like 10 times and we couldn't understand. I couldn't pick up one word. Not one word. So that video's gonna be so funny.
It's like they speak it. It's so beautiful. I love that Spanish. It's it flows so good. I don't know how to explain it.
It's elegant, yeah.
Elegant. That's the word.
It is elegant. Mm-hmm. Damn, so do we have it wrong?
We have it wrong for sure, Nat.
It is elegant.
We have the Dia de los Huevos, bro. Come on.
That's just us, though.
How do you say Santa Claus in Spanish?
Santa Claus. I'm done. This is like a session of me getting bullied. You guys, welcome to my freaking life. Whenever I go to Jake's parents' house, this is what my life is like. This is what it is, okay?
It's because we're really curious, bruh.
No, you guys are mean.
My dad's like in the corner laughing. And he's like, I have no sabo kids, bruh.
Yeah, because your dad, he's like, he understands everything I tell him.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to speak Spanish pretty well, yeah. He, like, really, really well. It's really actually impressive because your dad can speak Spanish really well and English really well.
Isn't that weird? Like seeing like adults, people that are older than us that can speak both like fluently.
Yeah, I think that's going to be me when I'm older.
Oh, it is, yeah. Well, I don't know. You're probably going to lose your English a little bit.
I thought you were going to say your Spanish. I don't think I'll ever lose my Spanish unless my mom learns English.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, unless my mom loses the English, or loses, if she learns English, then I'll lose the Spanish. Because, like, my mom's the reason why we still speak Spanish. She doesn't know English.
But I'm so happy that you're bilingual because it helps me so much, too. We could travel a lot more places because of that. Yeah. I feel like language barrier is super important when you're traveling.
Yeah, I would love to pick up another language for sure. You know, you need to learn another language. I got us with the Spanish, but you got to pick up a different one.
Which one y'all want to learn?
I would like you to know French.
I do.
Because that could get us very far in Europe.
Merci beaucoup. I think I'm saying that right.
I can get us pretty far with like Italian too.
Pain au chocolat. Pain au chocolat.
Okay, I remember that. That's the chocolate croissant. Of course I remember that one. No, I think that like Italian and Portuguese, I can understand a little bit, like because it's
Italian,
so similar.
Italian, but Portuguese, I can understand a little bit, but not Italian. Italian is so different.
Yeah, I remember we went to that spot in, remember the Italian spot in the main street?
Yeah, I do.
I can understand like half of that menu.
All I know is penne and pasti. It's like pasta and then the penne
They
pasta.
put the yeah. But when it comes to Portuguese, yeah, that one's so similar. Like my esthetician, she speaks Portuguese. That was her first language. My esthetician, she speaks Portuguese, and she will put like her Instagram stories are in Portuguese, right? And she'll put music that's in Portuguese. I'm like, wait a minute, I can understand what these people are saying. It's super cool how like it's very similar,
but the vocabulary is very different.
Yeah,
the vocabulary is so hard to read. I can't read it, but I could if I hear it, I'm like, okay, I could piece it a little bit together.
Yeah,
but nah, it's wild. I like the different languages and how they're like very little similar to other languages. I don't know if there's one like that in English though. I know Spanish has a lot of them. Like the Philippines speak Tagalog, I believe, and they have like similar words because I think like Spain conquered them a long time ago and
babe,
they carried
I think
on.
French is similar to English.
Heck no.
Yeah, babe, a lot of words we were able to pretty much pick up on.
You know, and manzana is the same thing in Tagalog. Like it's manzana. It's apple.
What's Tagalog?
Filipino.
Oh. You know what would be cool? Like we would be unstoppable if you picked up like French or I think French would be cool. And then I picked up an Asian language. We'd be able to travel the whole world.
What? I think you'd pick up Vietnamese because you just want to go to Vietnam and try like authentic pho.
I love no, I think I would like to pick up Mandarin. But that's like that would take a whole life and I still wouldn't be able to pick it up.
Really?
Dude, yeah, that's like a difficult language.
Actually, I do know Vietnamese words, but I'm not sure if I say it like if it's a bad word, but I know them.
We have a lot of Vietnamese friends.
I know the phrase that you could say it in, but like when I see a cool car, you say this word, but I think it's a bad word. He told me last time it's like a bad word.
I think that if we were to get a language that they speak in Europe and we were to get like an Asian language, dude, that would get us like really far. Really, really, really far. Mm-hmm. You know, and English gets us very far, but even just knowing Spanish, that helps too.
I want to learn, if I could learn any language, it would probably be like Portuguese. That's like a pretty language to hear. Portuguese? Yeah, Portuguese or like maybe, I don't know, Spanish fully, dude. I have to, but
really?
Spanish.
Our type of Spanish you can learn. You just have to try more. The thing that happens here is that Jacob, I think he gets overwhelmed. Well, okay, multiple things in my opinion. I think that A, he gets bored and he wants to go on his phone, so he leaves. B, he doesn't understand it, so he also feels a little left out. C, okay, I feel like he's a little bit embarrassed to mess up, so then you don't say it. But I think it all comes down to you want to go to the room with Tito. And I think that really doesn't help because we're having these conversations where if you just listen and try to learn, like you could pick up on it. But you get bored and you pull out your phone and you're at the edge of the table like this.
It's also because you guys are loud, Nat. Like you guys speak so loud. Like it's crazy because there's that. You guys have an inside voice, but outside. Like a normal person's outside voice is your guys' inside voice. And that's why your dad wears the earplugs because he knows. So whenever you, your mom, and like Nelly are having conversations, I'm like, holy and yesterday we were at Disneyland and Nelly was talking and she like was like, whoa, and like scream. And I was like, screamed. I don't know the past tense. I need English lessons.
No, I'm just getting you because you get me, so that's why I'm doing it too.
Okay, but she screamed, and I was like, dude, you guys are loud. And it's not trying to be. I'm not trying to be offensive, but it's just like, you know how whenever we're cooking, Thea goes upstairs and goes to lay down. That's what it is. Like I'm like, all right, let me get out of here.
You know, people always tell me like, you need to stop screaming. Like in my YouTube videos, like they get really angry at me for talking loud, but it's like that's just what I'm used to. Like that's literally my mom has always been loud.
Sometimes I hear like I'm listening to your video and it's like, hold on, it's like hurting my ear, but you're not being like. You're not like trying to be loud, but you're just talking.
I'm just like that.
It's a weird. I don't know how to explain it, and you don't see it, right?
No,
it's weird.
That's just me.
But be you, don't change.
I like when I was listening to our gaming videos. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so loud. But that when I'm speaking, I don't feel loud. That's just me. That's just how I speak. I'm very passionate.
I think gaming videos is different. But like when I'm hearing you guys at the table, I'm just like, oh damn, it's one of these days. I'm about to take my ears I use when I go shooting, just put them on.
Oh my gosh, that's so mean.
I'm just kidding.
You know, I think I'm loud, but I feel like my mom is louder.
Oh, 100%.
And Nellie's like equally loud as me, so then we're loud together.
I want to know if you guys think this the same as me. I think Nat's mom has a weird voice. Like,
what do you mean?
Like whenever she speaks, it's weird. It's like she's holding her throat back, like like that.
Like a high pitch?
It's like, I don't know, like the words aren't coming out fully. I don't know. I think it's just me, but if you guys hear Nat's mom talking in a video, like, let me know if you think the same thing, because I feel like I'm going crazy.
Does it sound like you when you laugh?
No, it's not like a laughing sound. It's like
no,
the way she talks,
when you
voice.
laugh, you also have like that held back sound that makes everybody laugh even more. I feel like that's what you're talking about. And a lot of people have it when they speak. You're right. I do notice it. I don't think I have it sometimes when I speak a little loud.
It sounds like she's trying to talk with a mouthful, like I don't know how to explain it. Watch her video real quick and tell me what you guys think she sounds like, or if you think she sounds normal and I'm tripping. Please, I'm going crazy. Like
I don't know. I've heard her my entire life. So.
Yeah, ever since I met you, I'm like, maybe her mom's sick right now. But then it's like her real voice.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've just heard her my entire life. But I think I know what you're talking about because a lot of people do that. I think like that held back. I hear it in like some people, but I hear it in you when you laugh like hella loud. Like you know when you're like something so funny and you have like that high pitch, the highest pitch laugh, and it's like that held back. I guess so, but I don't really hear it in her because I just heard her my entire life. Mm-hmm. So I guess that makes
like sense. Right now I'm used to it, but then when I see her for a couple of days, I don't see her for a couple of days and I hear her, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going crazy, because if I was going crazy.
Do I have a normal voice?
You have a normal voice, yeah, but your mom doesn't.
You have a normal voice. You just don't have a normal laugh.
Nah, I don't.
Do I have a normal laugh?
Yeah, you do. You have a couple of different laughs, but you don't have like a held back voice. I don't know. If you know what I'm talking about, like please comment it so I'm not insane. And if
you might be insane.
If you think I'm insane, comment that too so I know what the answer is or not.
Okay.
But yeah, we got a lot of stuff to do. It's Thanksgiving Day. We got to make some bomb dinner. We're making ass pasta. Let me know if you guys have any extras. Please, leftovers, I'll come up tomorrow. Southern California, please.
Yeah, let us know.
That's going to wrap up today's episode. I know it's a short one, but we hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching. Please rate the podcast. If you guys haven't watched the audio platforms or listened to audio platforms, rate them, please. They're in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.